What holds people back is not actually the lack of knowledge on what exercises to do, what food to eat. It's actually,
A former fat boy and an ex-anxious kid.
How we became real men, learning the skills, creating the habits, and becoming the man.
With Max and Matteo.
I am the expert. Right, welcome to our first episode. My man, Max, myself, Max Hindle, and my man, Matteo Mascetti. We are here to help you change your life. We're gonna dive into why we're creating this podcast, why we're creating this this idea of how we can help people and how we got to this position and just how we got here, especially in Mexico as well.
Yeah, we just found each other here.
We literally bumped into each other here, and that's what I love about Mexico specifically, is we literally just bumped into each other. I remember you messaged me the day before when I was here, the day before you got here, you were like, "Are you in Playa del Carmen?" I was like, "Yeah." You're like, "I'm coming tomorrow." I was like, "No way." I was like, "I know you from Instagram." And now we're here today shooting a podcast.
Yeah, because basically...
Good to see you, bro.
Yes, man. Basically, I remember we were talking about this, like, I don't know, maybe a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, "Oh, yeah, I would love to move there one day. I just need some things to get in place."
Yeah.
And then another friend said, "Oh, I'm going to move there." And then that didn't work. But then, I had a trip to Texas.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, that's pretty close."
You're like, "Screw it, let's just go."
And actually, the funny thing is, I wanted to stay in Texas.
Yeah? Why?
Well, just because, I thought it was cool. But I have to be honest, like, the US is pretty expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And especially that week, for some reason, actually, there was a festival.
Right.
So the renting or Airbnb, whatever, it was really expensive. And I was like, "Oh, no. But I want to take some time off."
Right.
And so I was like, "Oh, I can go to Mexico." And then here we are.
Well, because you left as well, didn't you? You came back.
Yeah.
So you left for how long?
So I left in March and came back in September. So that's like...
You left in March?
Yeah. It was
Did you? No, it was after March.
Okay, April. Then it was April. Yeah. April.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it was when
April?
because it was when I moved to Central. And then you came back, 3 days ago?
Yeah.
3 days ago? And then we had the idea of... So this is the irony of our journey, isn't it? Like, how long have you been on your journey, like, in regards to business, all that kind of stuff?
Online, 2-3 years.
Okay. And then before that?
So before that, I was working in the gym as a personal trainer.
Right.
So I wasn't really into... I started Instagram a little bit earlier than, the mass, I would say.
Right.
And so... But, I didn't know how to make it work.
Right.
So I learned this, like, maybe 3 years ago. Let's say 3 years
Okay,
ago.
perfect. And yeah, like I've been on sort of like this hypnosis journey and like coaching with people and stuff like that online for, I'd say, 4 or 5 years. So we're like in a very similar amount of time we've been doing it, and then we both said to each other, didn't we? We said the other day that I was like, I'm kind of just disheartened with the way that I'm going with my business at the moment. Like, I don't want to work with, like, I've worked with people that are suicidal, I've worked with people with anxiety and depression, like real severe cases. And for me, it's fulfilling, don't get me wrong, but it's also very mentally draining. And I'm like, man, I want these people to get through this, but at the same time, I'm like, it's draining on me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got to look out for me as well. There's people out there that can do what I can do, that can deal with it a lot better. So I'm like, I'd rather them do that and me find what fills me up and really lights me up, so that every day I actually enjoy working with people and turning up to work every day. And then we both said that, because you said you had a similar thing. You were like, I'm not sure in regards to creating my offer, right?
Yeah, so I would say... So my situation is slightly different, because I enjoy what I'm doing right now.
Right.
But I want to take it up.
Right.
I see there is something missing in what I do.
Okay.
And that's why I thought, that collaborating with you would be the perfect fit.
Yes.
Because I know, as we spoke before, I'm a fitness coach, right? So I specialize in making people lose fat.
Right.
And
and you're a nutritionist. He let that one slide.
I'm a nutritionist. I'm a fitness trainer. But the thing is, when I started, this, working with people,
right.
I've been a PT for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
So even being a PT in the gym, you know, I work with people, and you know, at the beginning you think it's all about training, right? You just need to do the right exercises, you need to do it properly, and you start with that. Then you start realizing, okay, you can train, you know, as much as you want in the gym, as well as you can, but you won't get, you know, necessarily the results that you want.
Right.
So the next step, nutrition.
Of course.
So you start working on nutrition.
Yeah.
Right? And that works until it doesn't work anymore.
Right.
And then you start understanding, okay, there is the mind side.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you can have all the knowledge in the world about exercising, about nutrition, and I think that most people knows what they have to do.
But they don't do it.
They're not doing it.
That's it.
And then why?
Yeah.
And
Well,
Alex
Hormozy said it. I was listening to a podcast from him the other day. We were talking about this earlier, and he said, he was like, everyone knows if you want to lose fat, it's like you eat less sugary foods and you exercise more. Everyone knows if you want to start a business, you just got to make more profit than you spend with your expenses. Everyone knows what to do, and obviously in business it's a little bit different. But like the basic things of, you want to get in a relationship, you go on dates. Do you know what I mean? You can't sit in your bedroom and go, I'm manifesting the perfect person to come to me. Bearing in mind, this is who I used to be. Like, I used to sit there, I'm manifesting the perfect person. And I used the spiritual side of me to go, I'm the nice guy, I'm spiritual, because I was scared to go and talk to women. But I used that as a crutch, and that's one of the things that we actively wanted to speak about, was to be like, stop being a nice guy. Stop being a bit of a bitch as well. Like, get up, get to the gym, like become a man. And then that's where Matteo came up with the name, the Mindful Warrior, and I was like, that works perfectly, because you're using both the yin and yang. You're using the peace side, but then you're also using the like aggression side, which I believe is what a man should be. They should be able to be aggressive when necessary, but be able to control the mind, which leads back to what you're talking about of the mind being the most, not the most, but I suppose it kind of is the most, because without the dedication and motivation to go and do it, you're not going to do it. So what were you saying? I cut you off there, but what were you saying? You're saying in regards to the training, all that kind of stuff that gets to the peak, and then the mind is what the next step is, would you say?
Yeah, you know, you start understanding that what holds people back is not actually the lack of knowledge and what exercises to do, what food to eat. It's actually, you know, they're holding themselves back. Right. So like, in a way, their mind is holding them back.
Yeah.
They cannot do the stuff that they say they want to do. Right. And that's why I thought, you know, Max is an hypnotherapist. He helps people to do the things that they want to do. Like, you know, let's say, you know, I know hypnosis works really well for like addiction. Yes. Like, I want to stop smoking, I would go to a hypnotherapist, right? Yeah. So if I was, you know, I really want to lose the weight, but I can't do it, then I think, okay, an hypnotherapist can help me with that. Of course, because right? Like we're down to like things like emotional eating, and shout out to my sister as well. She was in a calorie deficit, like a massive calorie deficit, and she was exercising a lot, and she wasn't losing weight at all. And so I was like I was thinking about, I was like, there's got to be something emotional there, because we can actually hold on to weight as well emotionally. Like the body is an incredible tool that I don't have. So that's where I feel like we connect very well, and where our collaboration works well, because you're an expert in training, in fitness, in fat loss, in nutrition, and I'm an expert in the subconscious mind, hypnosis, and the two coming together is kind of, I suppose, like we said, making a man become a man, because it's like, well, with the mindset, with working out, with being confident, you're going to completely shift your life. Like, period, you are. And like I was saying, my sister, when she did a lot of the emotional healing of stuff, and I don't really like the word healing, but when she did all that emotional healing and she got rid of that, she's now in incredible shape. And it's all down to letting go of the emotional side of things, as well as doing the right stuff. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't just the emotional side of things. It was the combination of both of them. So it's not just the emotional, but then it's also not just the exercise. It's finding the middle ground and using both of them to get to where you want to be. Do you know what I mean? And then that's what actually brings me to the whole, the looking at it from a holistic point of view, which is, and put it in this way, the masculine and feminine energy. You need to get up off your ass and do something.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't just think about going to the gym. And although there's studies that say that if you mentally rehearse something, you can actually grow muscle, like there's actually scientific studies that do that, there's only so much you can do. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to be a bodybuilder from mentally rehearsing something. Like,
I wish.
Exactly, I wish. Do you know what I mean? If I could, I would. But at the same time, there's those things that when you think about it, you can have a sexual fantasy and your body can react in a way just through the mind with nothing external happening. So there's something happening. Do you know what I mean? So then my thing is, use everything. Get up off your arse, use your willpower, but then also at the same time, use the mind to say, how can I do this in the best way? Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got my goals to hit, let's say I want to hit 80 kilos. Cool, you want to hit 80 kilos. Do you want to imagine what your best self is going to look like, how you're going to look, how you're going to feel, all that kind of stuff, but at the same time, go to the gym every day. Do you know what I mean? And it doesn't mean you have to go and do 2-hour workouts. Like, what's your experience with that, with working with people? Like, what's the best way to help people get results with their, or for your clients to get results?
Do you mean like, how many times a week they should train and stuff like that?
More in the sense of like, how can a person like maintain a healthy amount of exercise? Because, for example, it's possible to go every single day.
Yeah.
For someone who's never been to the gym, it's not really maintainable, is it? Do you know what I mean? Like, how can someone maintain it? Like, where could someone start if they're not at the right place right now?
That's a good question. It depends, right? So what I normally recommend to people is, let's have a look at your lifestyle as well, commitments, and then we build from there.
Right.
So oftentimes I get clients that, they really want to change and they want to go all out. I actually had a client that started a couple of months ago. He was like, I'm going to do double session, boxing in the morning, gym in the evening.
Then yoga, then some swimming, then some ocean swimming.
Exactly, right? And then, I'm going to, we're going to do the diet, tell me what to eat and I will eat it. I said, okay. I mean, I appreciated the
enthusiasm.
Yeah. But in my mind, I was like, how long is this going to last?
Yeah.
Right? And in fact, a month later, it disappears. Text him, he doesn't reply. Then one day he calls me. It was on Sunday afternoon. Like, normally I don't work on Sundays, right? And I'm like, oh, he's calling me.
Actually, I want to see what this guy's at.
I was a little bit like, oh man. I just had lunch, I was in Italy, I had a big lunch, so I was a little bit sleepy
just
too.
ready to sit.
Oh man, ready for siesta.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, it's my client, whatever he needs help, I'm gonna pick up. So I get on the phone and I was like, oh, really sorry, I really got busy with work and stuff, so I give up everything. And I wanted to say, I knew.
I told you.
No, I didn't say I told you because, I didn't tell anything.
No, you wanted to say that.
Yeah, I wanted to. But then, basically, it's been struggling to get back on it. So you don't want to be unrealistic. And in reality, it depends where you are. But most people doesn't need that much anyway.
Yes, I agree.
So I was actually thinking this as I was having the shower in the gym. Like, people think that they need more. In reality, they need better.
Yes, like quality over quantity.
Right? It's like, I was thinking of this example, like when someone, let's say you're at work. Maybe you spend 6 hours in the office.
Right.
But 4 of those hours, you're on your phone. How many productive hours are you doing? That's 2 out of 6, right?
Yeah, of course.
Perfect. Then normally what we think is like, I need to do more, I need to be more productive. So instead of being 6 hours in the office, I would be 7 hours.
Yeah. But then you spend 5 hours on the phone.
You spend 5 hours on the phone, so you still have 2 hours. So
yeah.
That's the same thing with training and nutrition. It's not about doing more, it's about doing it better.
Yes.
So I guarantee that most of the people that goes to the gym, especially if you're going to the gym and you look the same. Yeah. And honestly, there's a lot of these people, like, you can visually see in the gym.
Yeah.
And
what is in they're not making progress?
They're not making progress.
Okay. They turn up to the gym, but they don't make progress.
To the gym, but they're not making progress, right? And again, lots of clients come to me in this situation, and I see lots of people in the gym in this situation, and I guarantee that I can make them work out less. Yes. But because they're gonna do it better, they're gonna get better results,
and then they're gonna be happier with it.
And actually, that's what happened, with my clients. Right. They tell me all the time, like, I feel like I've been doing it all wrong.
Yeah. And
I'm like, kinda.
Well, so that actually reminds me of like what I'm doing right now. Actually, with my content on YouTube, I know that volume for me has not worked. Like I thought about it, and like, you know, when Gary Vee says you need to post content, like you need to at least have tried something. I'm like, I've posted total 700 videos on YouTube. 600 and something are like public. Some of them are like private. Some of them are part of my courses. Like some of them are just private videos, my meditation challenge, all that kind of stuff. If you haven't meditated yet, go and head over to my meditation challenge.
Shameless plug.
There's a shameless plug, always going to be. We're marketers now, my friend. But through doing all of that enough times, I've realized that posting a video a day on YouTube just didn't work. Like, it wasn't getting views. Like, I know that the volume isn't working. So for me, it was like, right, how can I be more creative with it? Which I've already told you some of the creative ideas that I'm coming up with for YouTube. So I'm not posting every day now, but I'm finding ways to make higher quality content that people are going to watch for longer. Well, at least I hope. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the goal with what I'm doing. But no, it's interesting, and this is why we wanted to shoot this first podcast. One, to see what we could do. You can see our setup. We're literally just in my house in Mexico. We've got an old camera that I had. We're using Mateo's phone. We're using my new camera with my new lens that Mateo kindly brought out to Mexico for me. We've got the microphone set up, leaning, balancing, all of that. And we just really wanted to share just sort of what we do and stuff like that, and what we're going into. This is going to develop more, obviously, and this is going to be just our main long form content that we can really educate people, ideally, and hopefully bring some people on as well. That's what we were talking about, weren't we?
Yeah. So going back to what I was saying earlier, working with people, I noticed that there was a need for something more, right? Because for me, well, in my personal experience and what I've witnessed with other people too, like physical transformation can be the first step in a whole life transformation.
Well, yeah, because it gives you confidence. That's right. I mean, when I look in the mirror, I think, like, I work hard for this. You look good, mate. You know what I mean?
And it can be the easiest one to achieve.
True.
Like,
because you see it as well.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And to be honest, like, and it doesn't take that much time. You can do it in like 3-6 months. Like, you can literally change your body in 6 months if you put the work.
Yeah, of course.
And so that can lead to other changes, right? So for me, fitness is the first step into personal development. Has been for me anyway. And I can see it on other people.
Yes.
But when people comes to me, I can see that there is. I basically ask. I see that there are other issues.
Well, like in the mind and stuff like that.
Yeah, in their life.
Yeah.
And so they want the physical transformation to be, the first step, which is good.
Yes.
But then, I see that and I'm like,
what do they need now?
Exactly. What if I can help them with more than just the physical transformation?
Yes.
And truth be told, right? 6 months you can change your body, but that doesn't mean it's going to change your life.
Yeah.
Like, you need to be intentional.
Of course.
For you to make the physical transformation the first step into, a bigger transformation. Like, you can change your body, you can get shredded, but that doesn't mean that your life is going to change.
Yeah.
Right?
But it does give you more discipline as well, doesn't it?
It does. But then again, you have to be intentional, because
of course,
how many people? Well, there's actually a statistics about that. I think there's like, let's say 80% of people that lose weight, they gain it back.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So
and that's got to be a mindset thing, surely, because it's like, well, I think a lot of people do that with diets as well, don't they? They're like, they get on a diet for 8 weeks, then they start eating loads of cake again. It's like, well, just because you're off, like, eat a health. Like, I'm not a fan of diets. I like a healthy lifestyle. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I want chocolate cake, I'll eat chocolate cake. Like, I don't limit myself, but then at the same time, I eat healthy throughout the rest of pretty much every day. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I just had a protein smoothie. There's mango, strawberries, and protein powder in it, and some almond milk. That's it. Like, it's healthy stuff. So if I'm eating a healthy diet anyway, and my lifestyle's healthy, having a pizza and a chocolate cake is not bad. Like, exactly. One day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's that. What I see is that people, they can put the effort and they can make their change, but then it doesn't stick,
right?
Because they didn't do the work after. Of course. Which is, for example, what I'm thinking is, you want to be leaner, right?
Yeah.
You need to be that person.
Right.
So you can become leaner by doing a diet, But then if you didn't become the lean person, what happened? When the diet stops,
straight back.
You go back to where you were before.
Right. So this is new information for me, because I understand this in a monetary sense. People that win the lottery, they always go back to being not always, but it's something, again, like 80% of them go back to being broke because they didn't become a millionaire after they gained the millions. And it's like Jim Rohn says, best believe you become a millionaire before you make your millions, because otherwise you're going to lose it. And so then that's what really lies into the mind, and how your expertise and my expertise can really come together to impact men specifically. Like we said, we want to work with men because, and we've spoken about this before, like I came from anxiety, depression, drugs, violence, then anxiety and depression, to where I am today, where I'm a very confident person. I can speak to any woman I want to speak to. I can date any woman I want to date. There's still some women that intimidate me because I'm like, damn, you're hot. But like, I'm still on that journey as well. But then at the same time, I'm running my business online. Same with you. Like, you've gone through your transformation from that. And again, I used to be stick skinny. Like, now I'm in great shape. Like, it's all, for me, what a real man is. Do you know what I mean? Someone that takes control of their life. I feel like that's what the whole thing is. Just takes control of their life and doesn't need for another person, but they choose the right people in their life. That's what I feel like a real man is. Do you know what I mean? Like, someone that just lets everyone into that. Like, I'm very intentional who I let into my life. Do you know what I mean? Someone who just lets everyone in. I'm like, you're letting boundaries like get crossed. Like, I'll meet people and I'll figure out about people. Do I want you in my life? I'll spend time with them. Sometimes I don't. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I just don't want them in my life. It doesn't mean I'm going to be horrible. We're just not on the same vibe. How is that card full? Bro, this lens is taking up a lot of phone, man. That's a 64 gigabyte card. Becoming a man in general, I think, is the most important thing that this world is missing. Like, we're missing men. I mean, the world is being doled down. Men are being doled down, and the right type of men as well. Like, there's that toxic masculinity that, although I agree with some of the things they say, they don't say it right.
That's the thing.
Yeah. And I'm like, you're right, but you're being a dick. Stop being a dick. So like, it's finding that and then moving away from also the completely spiritual, which is I don't speak to women. I let them come to me. It's like, no, you're making an excuse. You're being a bitch about it. Oh no, I don't work hard. I just manifest my money. And I'm like, no, get up off your ass and do something. That's what I wanna. That's my intention with it. With all of this. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we can create and how many people we can help and impact.
I think that one went off.
Fuck it, we'll end with this one.
Okay.
Cameras, man. This is what we figured out. This is going to be difficult. But anyway, what's your intention with all of this?
So what I've noticed is that, especially the newest generations, there is a lack of masculinity.
Yes, massively.
Like, simple like that. Like, I see, people in high school, university, and the boys, men, whatever they're in that transition time, they're different from what we were back in the day, right?
Of course.
And so I really think that the world needs us.
Yes. He's got it. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Let's go. We got this. That's it. Well, that's this first episode. Let's see what this brings us. Like we said, we're figuring it out as we go along. We really don't know what we're doing. We're just figuring it out. And this is living proof of, like, I feel like what the masculine energy is like, just get it done, do it, find a way, and eventually it will get better.
That's it.
And this is going to be living proof. Do you know what I mean? Eventually it's going to get better. This might not be that great. Anyway, appreciate you showing up. Show up, follow us, The Mindful Warrior. We're here to change your life. Max and Matteo,